All right, YouTube, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel for another video. Today, we are talking about 20 Pokemon cards that I think are super undervalued and will rise in value in the future. Now, I have noticed on my comments recently that people have been asking for a video like this because I do spend a lot of time analyzing cards that have already sort of seen an upswing and have grown in value. So today, you're going to see some of the cards have already grown in value, but I believe they can go even further. And you'll probably see a couple of cards that may not have risen quite as much, but I think have potential to do big numbers later down the line. Now, this is due to a whole bunch of things like restocks, reprints, all those kind of things that cards are susceptible to. And we're going to go over all of that as we go through the video. However, before we start, I do want to say a big thank you to today's sponsor, which is PokeNotify. For those of you that don't know what PokeNotify is they are a Discord server dedicated to bringing you all of the in-stock notifications for all of these stores globally around the world. They monitor over 100 websites to give you all of the best notifications for when things restock. And it's not limited to just the US or just Australia. It is global. So no matter where you live in the world, you're going to be able to access PokeNotify. Now, if you guys want to get started, PokeNotify has been nice enough to give me a 25% discount voucher for your first month. So you can use code TWISTED25 and the link is down in the description if you want to check it out. But it does show here, like for example, different stores like Big W out here in Australia. It's given me all these notifications of what's restocked, or you can even sort it by set. So if you're chasing Prismatic Evolutions, it can give me updates when Amazon restocks. It can give me updates when EB Games restocks and pretty much anything of the like. So if you guys want to try that out, like I said, the link is in the description below. And thanks to PokeNotify for sponsoring today's video. Now, jumping into the first card out of 20, we're going to go from Scarlet Violet base and go all the way through until Prismatic Evolutions. However, I do want to preface this by saying I will do another video with Sword and Shield cards as well that I think have a lot of potential. This is just for the Scarlet and Violet era. Now, starting off at number 1, the Koraidon EX Special Illustration Rare. Couple of things about this card. Yes, it has already seen a slight increase. However, the Miraidon card is already surpassing this one. I think the Miraidon card is sitting around 25 USD right now. The Koraidon is still sitting down at $18, even though it has had a 63% increase. I really like the artwork on this one. The next thing as well, it is a legendary. People playing Scarlet and Violet on the Nintendo Switch, this is introduced to them very early in the game, so younger kids are going to want this as well. And I just think being a special illustration rare, it's harder to pull. So all of these things in combination, as well as a really nice artwork, are probably just due for this to go up. I think the only reason it hasn't risen more in price is that you can still find Scarlet Violet base pretty easily. It's not exactly one of the most desired sets, and I know I can walk into most stores out here and find Scarlet Violet base. So once that does dry up a little bit, I think Koraidon will rise in value as well. Number 2, from Paldea evolved the Quaxly. Now, the Sprigatito has seen a lot of increase lately, and the Quaxly has just started going up, but I think it will go further to sort of catch up to the Sprigatito. That's around the $20 mark right now. Quaxly, again, being a starter, you have to think of it from the example of kids playing these games right now. These are the starters that they're growing up with. The same way I grew up with Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Squirtle, kids now are growing up with Quaxly, Fuecoco, and Sprigatito. So that's what they see. That's what excites them, and that's what they're interested in. Obviously, they'll be educated on other Pokemon earlier as well. But if this is the games that they're growing up playing and the shows that they're growing up watching, then these are going to be really interesting to them in a few years' time. So I think this has potential value. The artwork's really cute as well. We've already seen, like I said, what the Sprigatito has done. So I definitely think Quaxly and even Fuecoco, even though it's not on this list, have potential to increase in the future. Moving on to Obsidian Flames, I have a couple of cards from this set because as much as everyone hates on Obsidian Flames, it has some of the nicest artworks in the entire era. Number 1, Ninetales. Now, the Ninetales card, it's $32, so it's not on the cheap end by any means. But when you look at the artwork, you think it's a Gen 1 Pokemon, and I think this has the potential to be a $50 card. Like, there are some $50 cards in Scarlet and Violet era that are nowhere near as nice as this card. So this should be valued higher, and we can see it's increased 139% in the last 3 months. I honestly see that just continuing to go, and the more that Obsidian Flames starts to dry up, which it has a little bit lately, it's started to get harder to find and harder to purchase. I think this card is just going to continue to run. This is probably one of the ones that without a doubt, I can see at a $50 card out of all of the cards on this list. So trust me when I say you're going to want to pick up some Ninetales. Next up, sticking with Obsidian Flames, the Scissor Illustration Rare. I've talked about this card 100 times on this channel. I'm not going to go too far into detail with it, but for this card being only $13.50, I can see this being $20 to $25 in the future. I think it'll continue to rise. It's already risen up from, what was it, $4.32 3 months ago. It's sitting at $13 now, so it's doubled. I can see it going even higher. I think $20, $25 is probably where this card will sit. Same reasons as Ninetales. Obsidian Flames is drying up. It's a cool artwork. This Pokemon, like, nobody thought Scyther was going to get an evolve, and I just think that's so cool that it did. But yeah, this is one of those cards where I just think based off artwork, it's going to blow up. Another one based off artwork, Palafin from Obsidian Flames. Why does nobody talk about this card? Why does nobody like this card? Because this artwork is freaking fantastic. It is such a nice card to look at. It's bright, it's vibrant. There's a lot going on. You've got dolphins in it. You've got Palafin there. You've got so much happening. It's a $5 card. And that's after a 228% increase. This was $1.50 3 months ago. You could have picked up this up last month for $2.79. Like, it's doubled in the last month, which is crazy to me because this artwork should have been at least a $10 card from the start. It's so nice. I don't know if it's people don't like Palafin or what it might be, but this is sick. Like, I think when you look from an artwork perspective, this can definitely double from what I can even see it going to $15, $20 in the future from where it is now, which is $5.16. So Palafin, I think, is a safe one. Speaking of safe options, Pokemon 151, I could have put the entire list of cards from Pokemon 151 in this video because I think no matter where the pricing is right now for 151, it is going to go up in the future regardless. The OG 151, it's a set that I grew up with. It's a set that everyone my age, some sort of 25 to 35 grew up with, even older than 35 as well. Like, we grew up with this set. Well, not this set specifically, but all the Pokemon in this set. And we finally got a new iteration of these cards and some really cool artworks to go. I've picked out a couple. The first one is the Machoke at $13. I can see this easily being a $20, $25 card. It's so cool seeing the Machoke movers. Like when Ash in the beginning moved to Pallet Town and Machoke was helping him move into his house. Like, that's just so cool to me. And like, when you look at it closer, there is other stuff. There's Pidgeys outside. You've got a Meowth sitting on the corner here. I don't know if that's a toy or not, but it's sitting on the outside of the card here. Like, there's so much going on, and I think it's a really nice artwork. The other one I've put in here is the Nidoking. I like the Nidoking and his natural surround. This looks really cool. Not as much going on. It's not as busy a card as the Machoke one, which, to be honest, I kind of like as well. But again, $13 card, that's only going to go up from here. And then the last one from 151, I've put Giovanni's Charisma. Now, not so much to do with the artwork of the card with this one, more so to do with the fact that we've got a Team Rocket set coming later this year, or I guess at least a Team Rocket partial set. I know the Japanese set is purely focused on Team Rocket, but the English set is a mix. But Giovanni's Charisma, I think, will go up. We've seen a ton of Giovanni cards rise in price. We've seen Persian cards rise in price. We've seen Jesse and James rise in price. I think purchasing this one is a pretty safe option at $7. Might not go through the roof or become anything crazy, but even if it goes to $15, you've doubled your money. So I think Giovanni's one to keep an eye on as well. Next up, Paradox Rift. Now, I could have played the safe option and said Groudon, because that seems to be continuously growing in value and on a non-stop journey to the top. But I picked a card that I think artwork-wise is really interesting. The Loudred illustration rare in this set suits the Pokemon so perfectly because, as it says in his name, the card is so loud. It's so bright. It's so colorful. The designs are really sharp, and it's got that kind of cartoony look to it, which is cool. It looks like it's out of a comic book, but I just really like this card. I don't know what it is. It's seen a 50% increase in the last month. It was $9 about a month ago. It's now at 13%, which is cool. It was a low of $8.49. So didn't really do much up until the last month, but I can see it continuing to rise in the future. Paldean Fates, I picked the shiny full art Mew. Being an ultra rare, they are pretty hard to pull. The other thing too is everyone loves the Bubble Mew. The Bubble Mew is exploding and will continue to explode. I've actually got one out for grading right now. But I think when you can't afford the Bubble Mew or you can't get your hands on the Bubble Mew, this is a really cool alternative from Paldean Fates being a shiny version of Mew. It's a full art card. It's an ultra rare. It's one thing you won't get very often out of a pack if you are opening. It's already seen 76% increase in the last 3 months. But I think when we look back at this card in 6 months' time, it won't be an $18 card. I think it'll be a $25 to $30 card. So Paldean Fates has been out for over a year now, and it's also dried up on shelves very much so. Like, I don't think I've seen Paldean Fates on shelves in ages. So this will be one that's going to keep going up. The Arbok from Temporal Forces. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, I don't like Temporal Forces as a set. It's probably my least favorite set out of all of the Scarlet Violet era. But the Arbok to me is really interesting. It seems out of place in that set, if I'm honest. This looks like a card that, well, one should have been in 151, but you could have put it in any other set and might have made a bit more sense. The Arbok, the reason I put it on this list, it's already had a 168% increase. But again, it's a Generation 1 Pokemon. So, you know, people my age look at this and will think that's sick. There's a trend going around where people are doing original 151 binders, but not with 151 cards. So just like a Gen 1 binder. So I think this is a really cool addition for that. The other thing you have to remember is we've got the Team Rocket set coming. Like I said with the Giovanni, anything related to Team Rocket is going to go up in value, similar to how Persian has gone up and Giovanni cards and Jesse and James, like I said before. Arbok is something you think of when you think of Team Rocket. And when you think of what I watched as a kid, Arbok was always so involved in the episodes that Jesse and James were in. So I see this one going up as well. The next one, you guys are probably sick of me talking about this card because I think the Infernape is the coolest card in Twilight Masquerade other than probably the Greninja. I don't think this is an $18 card. I think this is a $35, $40 card. But I think Twilight Masquerade being one of the more recent sets, not more recent, but it's still pretty readily available, at least out here in Australia it is. I really like the Infernape. It's designed, the artwork, the colors. It's a fully evolved starter Pokemon. Again, you've got that starter Pokemon aura about it. All of the things just work with this card. And funnily enough, like I spoke about this card in a video yesterday or the day before yesterday. And then yesterday I ended up pulling it out of a booster pack. So I was super hyped to actually get this card for my own personal collection. I never had it. I didn't buy the single. I had a few opportunities, so I just never did. But when I pulled it out of the pack yesterday, I was just so excited and so happy to have it. And this, like I said, I can see it even doubling in value from where it is now. So keep that in mind. It might take a little while to go up, but I see it getting there. Next up, Shrouded Fable. I actually have a couple from Shrouded Fable because I think the artwork is really nice. And I know there's such a like disconnect and mixed opinions on Shrouded Fable because some people hate it, some people love it, some people used to hate it, and now they say they love it. I had never opened Shrouded Fable. Like I said, I'm new to this hobby. I've only been back in it for a couple of months, and Shrouded Fable is something to me that didn't interest me in the beginning because I just saw it all the time. And I was like, okay, I guess like I can pick it up whenever. I wasn't really in a rush to pick it up or anything like that. But again, now that I've started to open some Shrouded Fable and get a few of the hits out of it, I actually like it as a set. And I think the artworks are cool. So the first one is the Horsey. Again, this has that like Gen 1 binder vibes to it. If I was building out a Gen 1 binder, this would be the Horsey that I would add to the binder. I think on top of that, the artwork's really nice. It's really vibrant. Horsey's a cute Pokemon. So I talk about cutesy Pokemon quite a lot. And I feel like this adds to that sort of aesthetic. So if someone is building out a cutesy binder, I think Horsey is going to go really well on there. Already up 120% as well. I think it won't, like, I think it'll go up, but I don't think it'll be like the same as the Infernape, where the Infernape, I think, can double in price. I think from here at $20 or $22, I think the Horsey may get to 30. Like, it's not going to be a huge increase, but I still think it's really cool. Next one is the Zorua from Shrouded Fable. This one is currently $20. Market price, it's up 194% already. I'm going to say that it's probably going to go up even more, especially considering that the Journey Together, like the Battle Partners Journey Together stuff, has Zorua in it, featured pretty heavily. And when people aren't able to get that card, they're going to look backwards at this one. Again, cutesy Pokemon, add to the binders for those ones. I feel like a few of these ones borderline on that like real cutesy sideline, and I think that people will like it because of that. Same goes for the next one, the Q-Fant, Shrouded Fable. Super cute artwork. So many people that I know like love elephants. Like my partner, for example, obsessed with elephants. Has no idea when it comes to Pokemon, but obsessed with elephants. So wants this card like nobody's business. Is planning on picking it up pretty soon. And I think that it'll just fit in any cutesy binder. 90% up so far. I could see it potentially getting to $15, and it's only at like $8 right now. So I definitely think there's room for growth on this one as well. So if you want to maximize on that, go right ahead. Next one, Stellar Crown. All right, Stellar Crown is interesting to me because I actually have a few cards from Stellar Crown on this list, and you'll see as we go through. So the first one is the Zorora illustration rare. I think this, like a lot of the other cards in this list, the artwork is too cool to ignore. Like as a 14, not even a 14, a $10 card, you can't ignore how good this card looks. And I think one, it looks sick in a binder. Two, the artwork is really, really nice. Three, it's a sick Pokemon. And four, I think Stellar Crown has room for like movement, because Stellar Crown right now, I would say, isn't really a looked at set. It's not really a desired set. It's still available on shelves. And I think once it sells out, people are going to start looking at this, and the value is going to go up as well. The other two are super safe. It is the Bulbasaur and the Squirtle illustration rares. These two, although they have seen spikes and they're already pretty valuable, the Bulbasaur being $60 and the Squirtle being $70, they're Gen 1 starters, man. Like the Obsidian Flames promo card with the Charmander on it has been going up consistently forever. The Squirtle and Bulbasaur, they saw a bit of a run recently. They dropped down, and I can honestly say when Stellar Crown runs out, these are going to go up significantly, because these are the Pokemon I grew up with. These are the Pokemon that the people that now have adult money like myself look at these cards and obsess over. I want those. And these were two of the cards that I had to have in my set, along with the Obsidian Flames Charmander. And I'll probably get them graded, even if I don't think they're going to get a 10, because I love these Pokemon. They're what I grew up with, and they'll be really cool on the shelf back there to have a look at and be like, yeah, sweet, these are awesome. So I think Bulbasaur and Squirtle, although they're already expensive, they're going to continue to rise. And Zorora from Stellar Crown, I think, is a cool artwork. So that's Stellar Crown kind of in a nutshell for those ones, but super cute. The last, well, not the last one, second last on the list, the only one on Surging Sparks I've put on this list, because it's hard to kind of gauge Surging Sparks. We're probably going to get more stock. We're probably going to get reprints and things like that. But I really like the Mesprit. The Mesprit is a cute artwork. I saw the other day someone said it didn't match with the Latias and Latios. I honestly think it does. If you put it next to the other two and you have a look, it looks like a seamless artwork. So I don't know if it's specifically meant to, or I don't know if they have the same illustrator. I haven't actually looked at that. But I think the Mesprit will be like a $30 card. I think it can pretty much double from where it is now at $14. $25, $30, I think, is a pretty safe bet for the Mesprit in the next couple of months. And last but not least, I had to add one from Prismatic, because obviously we're covering the whole Scarlet Violet era to date. I put one from Prismatic in here. It's not what you think. I know you can see Umbreon, but it's actually the Prismatic Evolutions Umbreon stamped promo card from the like mystery boxes that they have. I don't know what the exact name of the product is. Does it say here somewhere? I don't know. It's the stamped one. It's the stamped EX Umbreon. And you are seeing this right. $76 is market price. However, if you think this is rubbish and this isn't going to continue to sell at this price and it's going to dip, I would say just look around a little bit, because if we have a look on TCG Player, look at these recent sales. These are all the last couple of days. 70, 78, 85, 97, low one there, 67, 70, 80, 75, 75. And if you look on eBay, it's pretty much exactly the same. There are multiple sales, but honestly, over 75 USD, which to me is crazy. But I also get the aura of Umbreon. It's a random chance of getting that card, because, you know, you have to draw it out of a mystery product. You're not always guaranteed to get it. And again, this is one of those things where I feel like people will really like to get this graded, and the graded value in a PSA 10 of this card is probably going to be through the roof as well. So this one, I reckon, will continue to rise. I think people will sell them for more and more every single day, and we'll see it going up. But that pretty much wraps up all of our Pokemon on the list for today. Obviously, like I said, not all of these are going to be super cheap right now that are going to explode in value and make you a ton of money, but they're just ones I think have potential to go up from where they are. With that said, if you enjoyed it, please subscribe to the channel because we are doing another giveaway at 3,000 subscribers. We've already announced our giveaway for the Prismatic Evolutions binder collection. So congratulations to them. But we will, like I said, do another giveaway at 3,000 subscribers. So make sure you're subscribing if you're new. If you are already subbed, leave a like on this video and drop a comment down below. With that said, I'm going to get out of here. I will catch you guys next time.